probably an obvious question, but what are you getting offensively when he's on like that and getting that kind of penetration?
Yeah, when he's playing like that, it kind of gives us another element offensively, especially to start the game. I think Eric in the past has started a game being his efficient self, running the team, not turning it over, trying to get other guys going. And then if we stall, he kind of says, okay, I need to do something. I kind of like that he is looking for his stuff as well as getting people involved to start the game. I think that's something to build on last week in the Kentucky game for, him to hunt his offense. We said all through the preseason as a staff, he's got to score for us. And I think it's been a learning curve of balancing it. But, we want him to be aggressive offensively.
Other than scoring and capitalizing on some opportunities there, are there any other areas of Eric's game you've seen kind of a big jump from last year?
Well, I think Eric, he's gotten stronger, and he's able to keep people in front of him and body people up, put his chest on people when they're trying to drive by him. I think he's come a long way there. It helps him with his strength to get over ball screens, which we see so much in the game today, and especially in the Big East. But I think it's made him a better defender. He's always been a solid rebounder. You look at his numbers, he gets his hands on those long rebounds for us too. But I think his strength, and again, just the growth of a guy being older now, has helped him.
I apologize with our production schedule. I've got to look a little further down the road here to the Big East than you probably want to, but have you had a chance to kind of survey the scene and anything jump out at you, any big surprises?
Not really. I haven't really, I've watched it. I don't think I've digested it. I think we're still going to be, I think we'll be the deepest league again. Everybody, what the misnomer is because of conference realignment that, these teams have left the Big East already. Just stop this year. We still have, I think, the best basketball conference, and we'll get the most NCAA bids. So, managing that and playing the A schedule is a thing that concerns me. It's a great challenge for us.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
With all the tinkering you guys have done on offense, how do you get Jaron going? Where does Eric fit? How about the two bigs? How close are you to being maybe I don't want to say a finished product, but close to being a finished product offensively?
Well, I don't know about a finished product, because I still think, with Cameron and Sherman, they're going to still be developing maybe even through January as far as what they give us. I do feel we are finding our identity. We're still in the process of finding our identity, and I think up until December 21 is a key time for us to keep doing that. I like the fact too, when we come back, we have some practice time before we play where we can really get reps at that. But I think that's still a work in progress. What do the guys coming off the bench do for us? Again, Scott Martin gave us big shots in the second half against Kentucky. Connaughton being more involved, I think, needs to help us there. And it's funny. I don't know if you'll ever be a finished product, because you get two guys going and one guy it needs rehab. And this guy's going, and I think that's the juggling. Now, what helps is when you have B-Shot and Sherman, you're not dying for those starters to always have to be there, and that's where we're different than last year. But I think we've got some confidence on offense.
What is it about Cameron's makeup where he starts 2 of 17 from 3, and he's 9 for 14 since, where he can flush that right away and go on a run like that?
He is a gifted offensive guy, and the game shooting stats up until this last stretch, the 2 for 17, was really kind of just a weird thing, because in practice he makes big shots. He's the one guy, I'd say more than anybody on our team right now, I'm more surprised when he misses an open shot than anybody else. Atkins would be a close second lately. But, he is such a gamer. For him, in that atmosphere the other night, to be so mentally prepared to deliver for us, really, I respect that, and he's defensive rebounding for us. There's a lot there, and you just feel he's going to get better and even give you more.
How important is this stretch where you don't have a lot of games to have maybe the guys on the back end of the rotation kind of show what they can do to the point where they can be maybe the eighth guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's been a search. You know, is there an 8? And if there's an 8, who the heck is it? You know, we got a veteran in Tom Knight who came off the bench for us last year and really helped us. You know, so that's not lost on me. What Zach August brings to the table is something different than any other big guy we have in our roster. But yet he's young and makes mistakes, and where's he going to be in the next couple weeks by Big East season? And Austin Burgett gives us that other step back, spread out 4-man. When Scott's down, he's had some great practices for us. So I think you're always searching there. As I told the group the other day, where 7 guys are getting a bite of the apple now, the way the season works out with things, everybody usually gets a shot before it's over. So you have to keep those guys not only physically but mentally engaged. What we've tried to do is, the guys that aren't getting a lot of reps, we get them in before practice. There's about 6 of them when you add Joe and Pat and Katenda, and we do a lot of 3-on-3 stuff with those 6 guys. And I get there to watch them in that, and it keeps them sharp and keeps them going and really keeps them engaged. But there's an open mind there. I think every day I watch something in practice and go, maybe he's 8 if we go to 8. And then the next day it's somebody different.
Mike, when you're coming off just the energy, the kind of win that you had last Thursday, is there you kind of miss out on going 10 days with
playing? Yeah, maybe a little bit. If we were younger, I'd be concerned about that. But because of the experience of this group, I think number one, getting some rest mentally and physically was very much a key, because we had a real tough stretch. And we do have some guys that play long minutes for us. And Martin is always going to have some issues with that knee that we got arrested. The other thing, and it wasn't by design, because I would love to have played tonight, but it just, with scheduling, it didn't work out. What I found is we've really been able to concentrate academically. We've done some things with study hall, we've done some things locking, because the last week of classes sometimes are more important than the exam week next week. And so we've really been basketball up until today's practice has kind of been a back burner issue since the Kentucky game. And like our academic finishing strong, I teased him the other day. I said, Lance Armstrong had Live Strong. I said, of course, we can't use those bracelets anymore because of all the drugs he used. But I said, maybe I should make bracelets for you guys, finish strong, academically. And they chuckled, but also knew the tone. Today's a good day for it. I mean, and I've been unplugged too, because while they've been off doing their thing, I've been recruiting. I got back late last night from a recruiting trip. So today kind of we get back into our routine with 3 days to prepare for a game, and then you have another hiatus again. So again, because we're older, I think it comes at a good time.
How'd they take the win over Kentucky? Did they take that in stride?
Matter of fact. Very matter of fact, Tim. I think, for them, what I loved, our preparation through the week, we would have been extremely disappointed if we lost. Our team would have been more disappointed if we lost. I think they felt very confident and should have, given our experience, them young, on the road, us being hungry for a marquee win. We let one slip away up there in New York. So they took it very matter of fact. They weren't jumping around in there. I think they were pleased at their business-like delivery. And what I've loved about this group and maybe our program is, when the lights have been bright in this building, we've delivered. And I'm really proud of that. And this group is mature about it. So they were, matter of fact, taken in stride.
And then how they react to Kentucky then losing again over the weekend?
Yeah, I didn't really, we weren't around each other
Right.
much because we were recruiting. I don't know how much that affected them, and I watched a little bit of it, and certainly that's a young team trying to figure it out, and then Northwestern goes down and crushes Baylor, last night, which college basketball, man, anytime you try and figure this thing out. But UIC beat Northwestern a couple days ago, so need I go on? It's crazy. So I don't know if that affected them much or felt it diminished our win. I think we needed to do that in that atmosphere that night. And as I've said before, now we need the Wildcats to grow up and go on a heck of a streak in the SEC.
What can you tell us about your opponent this weekend?
I have not, I will dig into them in about 30 minutes. I've stayed away from, I've been doing recruiting stuff, and we'll get some film here, we'll watch at them. Looks like they're guards, just from looking at, I glanced at the stats coming back from a recruiting trip. Guards are scoring the ball for them, but we'll digest them. But I think, today and tomorrow will be us practices because we haven't had those reps. And then Friday is a good prep day. We may go twice Friday. Friday's a reading day. We may come in the morning, come back just to kind of pick up and catch up for, lack of reps early in the week.
Well, do you like the attitude of Jerry and maybe it's like about the players that they were kind of bothered that the fans rushed the court that,
Yeah, and I did like that. I think, somebody, Mike DeCourcy told me he saw Scott Martin just walking away from the crowd in, and he said the only thing he didn't do, but he was close, was shake his head. Like, what. And so when I got to the locker room, they were all kind of, they don't need, but as I tried to explain to them, there was such good energy in the building that night, and there was a celebration of a lot of things going on there. And I'll be darned if any usher or me are going to stop Manti and the defensive line from charging the floor.
So they were actually talking about why did they storm the court?
Oh yeah, our guys were a little bit like, well, what? I think they didn't really need to do that, and because we expected to do well, but I try to put it in the context of everything that's going on, athletically here, and the football guys there. I said, our students just wanted to celebrate, and I thought it was awesome, and I know some people have been critical of it, Rick. I love it. It was great, and I think I got our guys to fellas, calm down. Let the kids have fun, all right? Let the students have fun. So they moved on quickly. They weren't losing sleep over it, but they were a little shaking their heads. When you see our defensive line in their three-point stances as the clock's ticking down, I'll be darned if I'm getting anywhere close to those guys.
When you go and watch Beecham and Jackson and Torres, do you watch them differently now that they're part of the program instead of trying to analyze how they fit?
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Tom. I think you're trying to look and you project ahead and say, okay, with what we have coming back, when I watched them Friday and Saturday, I saw them, I'm thinking about next year's team. Mm-hmm. I'm away from this year's team, and I'm thinking about, okay, next year's team, guards, when we're a little crowded in the perimeter. How do we work all that out? Do we play smaller? What are we going to do with guys? The red shirt thing comes up again. I think about all those things, but you do start thinking about the team and, Jackson and Atkins, how do we use them both together? How do they spell each other? I find myself, watching that a lot. And, of course, I smiled a lot when the man, every time he put up another two en route to, 39 or something like that. He was rolling. He was shooting it the other night, which I think that's an area he's going to have to be more consistent with, and that's just improved. Beecham is just so smooth. The game comes he plays older. Game comes easy to him. I was impressed with him Friday because he was really working on his defense, and he's long. And I've always told him you can be a heck of a defender for us. So, I think for 48 hours I was thinking about next season, and which is interesting. But yeah, you start to what do I need to talk to him about to work on in the spring and the summer? What are the different things? But those were 2 good days. Great watching guys you already signed.
What do you want Jackson to work on between now and then?
Well, I think for him, changing speeds, slowing down, but you know, it's a lot of young guys learning to change speeds and not, he doesn't have to play 100 miles an hour all the time. And then decisions with the ball, I think that's still an area where he can get better, you know, that the ball is gold, you know, especially in our program, and point guards in our program, you got to take care of that thing. And I think that's still going to be a work in progress, but I love how he, you know, I told him, I'm down watching VJ. I get in the car to come back, I get a text from him, we lost. And I was a little out of it thinking about our team. I forgot they opened Friday too. I thought Laura's was their opener, so I called him. He was in the parking lot outside Marion's gym, and it was like talking to one of my own guys. I mean, he was struggling. He was down, he was, you know. So I talked to him about leading in a situation like this and how to bounce back on Saturday and how do you talk to your teammates. And it was great because that's how I've talked to my guys. So I had a little bit of a fast forward of working with him, and then when I was at his game afterwards, I said, hey, you set a great tone, you led. And I said, you know, that's a good experience for you because you got to lead through tough stuff too.
He's probably learning, I mean, he's dealing with a different core guy.
Different cast.
He doesn't have the great three-point shooter outside that he had last year.
Got some young guys still figuring it out, and I think, you know, when you're the old guy, sometimes that can be frustrating, and I just tried to talk to him about, I gave examples of guys, teams we've had here, and again, I was really proud of how he led, and they bounced back against a very good team. Laura's is a good team. I tell you what, there were 4 really good guards in the gym that night. The 2 at Marion, obviously, and the 2 brothers at Laura's. I texted Anthony, I go, he was over in Chicago watching that, you know, I said, there ain't 4 guards over there better than the 4 I'm watching now. I mean, really, really good players. It was a great high school game on Saturday night. Good players, skill level, kids making shots, making good passes. Great high school game at your alma mater the other night.
Bishai said at the start of the season, he had never gone to the weight room. He had never lifted a weight in his life.
Never.
How far has he come since he walked in the door?
Yeah, I mean, he's gained 12 to 13 just in the summer. And this is another example of why I felt good about him, and it's played out. Tony Rolinski told me 2 weeks into the summer, he said, I love Bishai. And I was a little surprised because I'm thinking, is he really going to die? We've had guys like him that have taken a while to understand the weight room. He said he is so competitive in the weight room. He wants to get stronger. He's looking at Jaron and competing with him. And so those were all good signs. I think he's seen the dividends now of how important that is. But he wants to be a great player. And so he has been so open to being taught how to play with other good players, weight room. I think the nutrition aspect we're still working on. That's a work in progress. But the guy wants to be good. He knows what his weaknesses are, and he's very teachable. And I'm so pleased with that because I thought it would be harder still now. Not that we're not going to have issues with a young guy through a long season, but I'm just pleased with where his head's at. But he's competitive. He just wants to be. Tony told me that in late June. I'm like, all right, that's a good sign, you know. So, but when you know, it's no different. Carlton, Scott, Jaron, all of a sudden when you see those guys taking their shirts off more in the locker room, you know, hey, they're seeing dividends of. You know, I think I told you the story. Torrey Jackson came here. He went home at the end of the summer, and his mom called me and said, Coach, do you have him on steroids? I mean, he just changed so much. Of course, his body reacted to weights, but, you know, that we set Ryan Ayers, we send him home, and their moms and dads go, my God, what happened to you, son? And, you know, Tony does a great job in that department.
What was your talk with Torrey the other night before his debut?
I told him, you know, he called, he said, Coach, big one tonight. He was bouncing off the walls, and I certainly can relate. I said, you know, message, pregame speech. I said, look, don't overdo it. I said, you want your guys to be loose. I said, here's the theme. Here's the theme I want you to talk to them about tonight. Play hard, play smart, have fun. Play hard, play smart, have fun. Just talk about that theme with them. And I said, don't try and coach every dribble. Sit down a little bit tonight on the sideline. He goes, oh, yeah, Coach, I got you. So saw that he won. He's teaching social studies. He's teaching it. I said, my God, you're following my footsteps. I'm so proud of him, and he's gonna be such a key guy in that community, so, I gotta find a night, I gotta get up and watch a game, so I'm gonna try and sneak up there before the season's over.
As far as Beachside and he carries himself with so much confidence, and I'm sure there's gonna be some rocky
Yep.
moments when you get in conference play, but did you see that confidence in him as you were recruiting him?
Yes, I think he's always really believed he was very good. There's never been a problem with his confidence, and you know, you'd rather have it that way than the other way. And if you have to ratchet a guy back and hit him between the eyes every now and then, and we've done that a few times. But he's always been extremely confident about his ability, and he's also been very aware, at least when he started here, that he couldn't guard me. And he can guard me a little bit now. And really, he's come a long way in that department, but he knew that was a weakness. He didn't shy from it. He would ask questions about closing out, my stance, and so you know, as a teacher, when you have a student that engaged, man, you love teaching him. But you know, we put him in the game the other night. Those eyes he was ready. The lights were bright, and he was ready to deliver.
It's like he has all these new toys, learning how to play defense, learning how to lift weights.
Yes, a lot of new things being thrown at him, and the end of the semester and exam week is another new challenging toy, and he is learning the grind of that. We've got him kind of locked down this week. Thanks, guys.